Fallout is not what it used to be. From being an old school isometric RPG, making its way into the first person genre, and being in the hands of multiple different studios, the Fallout franchise has seen its fair share of changes in its 24 years of existence. Most of these changes, in my opinion, being good for the franchise. Bethesda acquiring Fallout and releasing Fallout 3 in 2008 brought a different but fresh take on the franchise, while still maintaining the essential elements that make Fallout as iconic and as special as it is. The sheer amount of choice in its gameplay, nailing the iconic culture and vibe of the 1950s, and introducing the franchise to a vast open world full of interesting locations and NPCs, something that to this day, Bethesda does incredibly well. Some of the original designers of Fallout that understand the Fallout DNA even had the chance to work on Fallout again when Obsidian Entertainment put out Fallout New Vegas. Still to this day, this game is widely regarded as one of the very best in the series, and most definitely the best in the first-person entries. From this point, the franchise started to decline toward mediocrity. I still remember so vividly watching Bethesda's E3 conference back in 2015. Being a massive Fallout fan, seeing Fallout 4 finally being revealed felt like the peak of my existence, as sad as that sounds. The amount of hype surrounding this game was ridiculous. Coming from Fallout 3 and New Vegas, some of the highest acclaimed RPGs and video games of all time, it was expected that Bethesda was going to bring this franchise to the next level and put out the best Fallout game and probably the best video game of all time. Looking back at it now, it's crazy how different that outcome really was. For me and so many other Fallout fans, Fallout 4 just missed the mark. The open world was interesting and the upgrades to their engine were much needed, but the game was just missing something. It didn't take long for me to feel like the decisions I needed to make to progress my character were inconsequential. I didn't feel that same weight that came from making choices. They completely gutted what made having a charisma build so fun. The story and dialogue surrounding NPCs just weren't that interesting. Overall, I just never felt as immersed in the game as I did previous Fallout games. The game just felt hollow. It was at this point where we realized the kind of game Bethesda was wanting to make. A game designed for the masses, that anyone can play and get into. It was turning into a Far Cry, an Assassin's Creed, a game designed with the number one priority being to sell. And they sure as hell achieved that goal because Fallout 4 sold incredibly well. But hardcore Fallout fans like myself were left wanting more. As we've heard many people say, and I wholeheartedly agree with this statement, Fallout 4 is a good game, but it's not a good Fallout game. Then comes Fallout 76. We all know by now how much of a dumpster fire this game was. From being almost unplayable at launch, having some of the worst game-breaking bugs we've seen in AAA games, to making PR moves and decisions that straight up just gave the middle finger to their fan base and almost destroyed their reputation. But to give Bethesda credit where credit is due, they have done a good job fixing the game and getting it to a place where it is worth picking up in my opinion. If you find it on a sale for around $10 or $15, I say it's worth picking up to at least try out Wastelanders. If you have Game Pass, definitely give it a shot. But honestly, after I finished the storyline of Wastelanders, I kinda checked out. Regardless of the state of that game now, Bethesda's reputation is trash, and me, including many other Fallout fans, are wondering if we will ever get another great Fallout game. I've thought about this a lot, and I've asked myself, should I be worried? Will we ever get another great Fallout game that's at that same level as the previous entries? Well, I was worried, but because of the recent moves Microsoft has been making, I'm not anymore. Over the past few years, Microsoft has been making incredible moves to reposition themselves and their reputation for this generation. From buying out dozens of talented studios, buying out Bethesda as a whole and acquiring all of their studios, to putting out hands down the best value in gaming right now, Game Pass. Microsoft is making it known that they plan to be on top of this generation. With all of these newly acquired studios, there are three that give us hope for the Fallout franchise: inXile, Obsidian Entertainment, and Bethesda Game Studios. This is huge. The Fallout DNA is all under one roof. While we are not seeing another Fallout game from Bethesda for a while, the chances of us getting another game in the Fallout universe or a new Fallout game entirely is incredibly high. It's obvious now that inXile's Wasteland 3 is out that there's demand for another Fallout game. Wasteland 3 was one of the best RPGs last year. Probably the best RPG last year. No, it was the best RPG last year. And that has been the closest we've been to the Fallout we want. I love Wasteland 3. And right now, inXile is working on a full-blown AAA game, and holy shit, imagine another isometric-style Fallout game like Wasteland. I've heard talks about that around YouTube, and I can't even begin to tell you how happy that would make me. Looking at Obsidian, they absolutely crushed it with the Outer Worlds, and this showed us once again how much we've been wanting another game like this. The game did great. Overall, Microsoft has impressed me a lot. they seem to really be focusing on their customers first. They have a much clearer idea of what their fans want, mostly. With the demand of high-quality RPGs like The Outer Worlds, Wasteland, and Fallout, and having all three studios under their roof that are responsible for developing these games, I think that it's inevitable that we will see more Fallout games in the future, and that they're going to be meeting that same level of quality that we expect out of these incredible RPGs. Microsoft knows what we want, and I really think that they're going to deliver that to us. What do you guys think about this? What are the chances of us seeing more Fallout games in the future? Let me know in the comments below and all that bullshit. Seriously guys, I appreciate all those who have watched my videos so far. If you've watched my previous videos or this is the first video you've watched, leave me a comment and let me know who you are. I plan on releasing videos every week, so please like and subscribe to see more videos just like this. I'll see you guys next time.